Get your fat asses out of the Mexican restaurant. Get your fat asses over to Cracker Barrel, because nobody wants to see your fucking smug ass, teeny weeny, pink arm, big gut around.
All right, so the woman whose face is currently melting apart on screen in front of you is named Jennifer Welch, and Jennifer Welch has been heralded as the left's new Joe Rogan, if Joe Rogan were like a menopausal shrew. And Jennifer Welch went on a rant about how much she hates white people, sort of. I mean, really, it's about how anyone who voted for Trump 3 times does not deserve to indulge in the best thing that America has to offer, she says, which is multiculturalism, and specifically multicultural foods. So let's hear Jennifer Welch out.
I've had it with white people that triple trumped. Yeah. That have the nerve and the audacity to walk into a Mexican restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, an Indian restaurant, go to perhaps their gay hairdresser. I don't think you should be able to enjoy anything but Cracker Barrel. And if you want to triple Trump, and you want to browbeat DEI, and you want to browbeat gay people, and you want to browbeat black people, as you've been doing for 400 years. And you want to browbeat this generation of immigrants that come over here and open up businesses earnestly, pay their taxes. You want to demonize them and call them rapists and felons and all this shit, when the felon is the teeny weeny mushroom cock piece of shit, Cankle's McTaco tits at the top of the ticket. I have had it from top to bottom. White people that triple Trump should be banned, boycotted from enjoying the best thing that America has to offer, which is multiculturalism. Get your fat asses out of the Mexican restaurant. Get your fat asses over to Cracker Barrel, because nobody wants to see your fucking smug ass, teeny weeny, pink arm, big gut around. Nobody wants to see that. No one.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer Welch. I feel like we do have some common ground in the sense that we're both extremely fat phobic, so I can appreciate the bipartisan consensus on that. Everything else, of course, is pure drivel. I feel like this is a very common liberal thing, though, to say, well, if we don't have immigrants, then, you know, what about the food? I'm not going to get to eat as much good food. And it's always kind of disgusting, because even if you agree with the premise that, you know, all of these various foreign cuisines are superior to American cuisine and European cuisine, that should be a very low concern on your list of priorities, right? It's like, well, you know, we have hordes of Mexicans flowing into the country illegally, and many of them are dangerous criminals, and all of them are criminals by virtue of coming over illegally, and they're causing all these problems, but burritos, you know? So it's hard to really pick a side there. Now, I noticed that Jennifer's prescription only applies to white people, specifically white people who triple trumped, as she says. What about non-whites that voted for Trump and maybe voted for him 3 times? What sort of food are they allowed to enjoy? I'm just curious. Like, if a Mexican person, Mexican-American, I guess, person of Mexican heritage, votes for Trump, are they now banned from enjoying their traditional ethnic cuisine? I would like to know. I think that there could be a role for Jennifer Welch in a future Democrat administration as some sort of food czar. Like, I think it would really suit her to do impromptu inspections of people's dinners. Hey, are you using a little bit too much foreign spice? Are you eating chocolate? Because as we all know, cacao originated in the Americas, and so really only Native Americans, and maybe Native Americans that are, you know, in Mexico or below, really have a right to consume chocolate. I think this is an important conversation we need to have. Now, this lady, Jennifer Welch, has a real hang-up about white Americans, though she appears to be one. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. This looks like this looks like a white woman here, but she does not seem to like white people very much. So here Jennifer Welch is at the Zohran Mamdani victory party. She's with Mehdi Hassan on the left and 2 people I don't recognize, and she is gushing about how again, multiculturalism is the best thing America has to offer.
Let me tell you something. If it was all white people here right now, it would be boring as I've grown up in those circles. Everybody needs some spice and some color in their lives. Life's a lot better. That's the coolest thing about America. Americans have no culture except for multiculturalism.
Well said.
And we need to teach people how to embrace that. These crusty white people need to learn how to embrace it.
Okay, so we're starting to understand some of the deep psychological reasons why Jennifer Welch believes what she believes. She says that she grew up in these circles full of crusty white people and, they were boring and they had no spice. And I think what this really means is that she's a person who is highly interested in prestige and status, and she's come to understand that celebrating foreign cultures and foreign peoples is a great way to attain status, or at least it was when she was younger. And there's an interesting shift that's happened here where I think in the 90s, if you were to say, oh, I love Indian food so much and I have this deep knowledge of Indian cuisine, that would still be kind of foreign enough to get you points. But now that Indian food is so common, and if you had said the same thing about Vietnamese food, now these cuisines are so common that you have to get even more specific, right? You have to say, I love this specific subculture of Ukrainian food or Ghanan food. And actually, I really like the food in South Ghana more than the food in North Ghana, because these are just ways of showing how cultured you are, how knowledgeable you are, how anti-racist and accepting you are, more so than your peers. But this is also a case of a fish not understanding what water is. Jennifer Welch is like, multiculturalism is the best thing that America has to offer. And, she's probably thinking of different kinds of foods, maybe different kinds of music. But true multiculturalism is very scary. And I would definitely prefer not to live in a truly multicultural society. Although maybe we're there, like let's say you have one person and their culture is, I believe in freedom of speech and freedom of expression, and I believe in sort of talking things through. And you have another person who says, I believe in jihad. Well, it's not exactly compatible, and the jihadist probably wins because he's just gonna cut your head off. But funnily enough, for a white woman whose entire shtick is hating white people, I think that Jennifer has achieved a certain level of prominence because she is white and is blonde and I think blue-eyed, and she's saying the things that Democrats want to hear. So she's this like avatar of left-wing ideology, but it's coming from a face that is maybe more associated with conservatism. And so I think Democrats like having that basically token white woman on their side amid a sea of other faces. Okay, now I want to do something slightly different. I want to take a look at the best comments from the previous videos. This was on the women are having public meltdowns over the new Starbucks cup video. And Rick Oliver says, these people need to get a life. Grow up. Get out your parents' basement. And you wonder why the US is so screwed up. There is more important things in life to be concerned about. Yeah, there is more important things to be concerned about. But sometimes getting out of your parents' basements results in starting a podcast with your other middle-aged friend if you are Jennifer Welch. So, it's not always a positive thing. Okay, this is on Sydney Sweeney breaks silence, goes turbo-based. Dolly Parton settled this decades ago. My daddy told me that when you entertain for a living, keep your mouth shut. Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, entertainers historically have been ranked quite low in terms of societal hierarchies, and I think that's probably where they should be. Okay, again on the Starbucks video. This is stupid. I wasted my time on this. I'm sorry, Marianne. I apologize. I hope next time you can bow out of the video a little bit earlier and find a better use of your time.